everybody, my name is Noemi. I am one half of Studio Dimora, and the purpose of this video is to get all of our designer friends, creatives, and just curious people that are really interested in AI tools to start using them. Just get you started.
We're going to go to discord.com, click on login. You don't have an account yet, so let's go to register. And then create your account and make sure to verify your email at the end. Now we're going to go to midjourney.com, click on sign in, and we're going to use the Discord account that we just created. Click on authorize. Now we're going to go to account settings, manage subscription, and now you're going to choose your subscription plan. I think the basic plan is enough. You can always upgrade later. Now we're going to go to docs.midjourney.com because we need to join the Midjourney server on Discord. You're going to copy this link right here, go to Discord, find the add server plus button, join server, and use that link that we just copied. Click on join server, and voila, now you have the Midjourney server on your Discord. Find your members list on Discord, find the Midjourney bot. We're going to send a message to the bot so it can take us to our direct messages. This is where we're going to be writing our prompts to generate our images. And I pretty much have recreated the Discord dashboard and created my own template just so that we have a little bit of a better view of the prompt, but it's all based on the Discord dashboard.
So now you're ready to go. You are ready to start generating your AI images. Like I said, we're going to be using a different template, not going to be using the Discord dashboard for this tutorial, just so that we have better visibility of our prompt. And we're going to be learning by doing on this one. And I'm going to be adding some resources in case you want to go back and go deep on some other things that I may not cover on this video. All right, let's get started.
This is what a basic prompt structure looks like. You'll start with a command, which is /imagine, then you'll write the description of what you want to imagine. This is known as a text prompt and is the most basic prompt in Midjourney. Let's start with a prompt. Let's imagine a cute cat in a living room. As you see here, I've added our first parameter, which is our aspect ratio of 4:5. What a parameter is just an option added to the prompt that changes how an image will be generated. The parameters are usually added at the end of the prompt, and you can add multiple parameters to each prompt. I really recommend going to Midjourney's Quick Start Guide. There you can look at some of the definitions and more examples with images to guide you on your prompts. Let's go back to our prompt and let's generate it. Let's see what we get. And we have our first 4-image grid that we've just generated with our prompt. And as you see here, Midjourney actually has added 2 other parameters, which are V6 and S50. What V6 is just the Midjourney version that you're using, and S50 is a Stylize parameter. It goes from 0 to 1,000, and pretty much the higher the number that you use, the more the Midjourney aesthetic will be infused in your images. So the higher the number, the more composed, and the more you will see that aesthetic. If you don't want a lot of that aesthetic and you want Midjourney to focus more on your prompt, then you can use Style Raw. If you want to customize your settings, you can do it by writing /settings, enter, and then choosing the stylize mode that you prefer, so you don't have to write it every time. We've done a lot of cats, so let's change the subject now and let's imagine a cake on top of a counter with our same parameters. Let's see what we get. And as you can see here, we have 4 images of 4 very different cakes in 4 very different environments. And now if we try Style Raw, our cake is a lot more straightforward and sticking to our prompt a little bit more. Because we're talking about language, the more detail and the more vocabulary we add to our prompt, the more control we have to the final result. So right now we're just working with a cake on top of a counter, but we haven't really specified what type of cake we're talking about. So let's say a gelatin cake. Also the counter, we haven't specified anything about the counter. Let's say it's in a kitchen. Now what we have here, it's a very specific jello cake or gelatin cake in a kitchen, on the top of a kitchen counter. All right, so I'm not really getting the type of jello cake that I envision in my mind. So we're gonna pull an image from the internet, and I have this image right here. It's beautiful. It's a lot more aligned to what I have in my mind. But I pulled this from Pinterest, so I don't know where this image is, where this image came from. So we're gonna do a little reverse image search, and we're gonna do that by going to images.google.com. Then we're gonna bring our image and drop it in there, and now we're going to find an image source, click on find image source, and let's see if we can find where it came from so we can properly credit it. We have more Pinterest, we have Facebook, we have, an Instagram account. Awesome. Here we go. This is where it came from. It's from 2020. Image by Ectol, and cake by Ectol. Side note, I may or may not have spent a lot of time on their page. It's amazing, and really check them out. Now that we know where our Pinterest image came from and we can properly credit Ectol for it, let's go back to Discord, and we're going to be using a command called /describe. And what Midjourney does is you're going to bring an image and it will create 4 different descriptions of that image. And it's really, really helpful to understand how Midjourney writes about maybe materials or specific post or an environment or the type of camera that could have been used to take that image, or maybe even like a time period. And that's why we really want this image is not to replicate it, but to get details from the /describe command to help us elevate our own cake. And just as an exercise, we're going to imagine all of these descriptions to see how closely together they are to the reference image that we uploaded. But really, we're just trying to get parts of those descriptions to elevate how our jello cake is going to look like. From our /describe results, I got some ideas and added some descriptive words to our prompt, and this is what we got. Way better. So much better. I went ahead and upscaled image number 2 because that was my favorite one, and we're going to be using 2 options here, which is very subtle and very strong. What this does is, with your reference image, which is image number 2, it's going to make changes, either very subtle changes or very strong changes to your image, but the image itself is still recognizable from your reference image. So very subtle and very strong makes variations of your image, of your original image, with either subtle changes or strong changes. But I actually want to change a very specific part of my image, and for that we use the vary region option. And what it does is that with your selection tool or with your lasso tool, you can select the part of your image that you want to change. And in this case, we're going to be replacing our cherry with a strawberry. And voila! I think the strawberry is working really well. Even scale-wise, I think it merges really well with our original image. But as you can see in image 2 and image 3, there's actually no strawberry. And this is something that happens with Vary Region tool. Sometimes instead of adding, it will delete something, and you can use it. It's like a non-official way of deleting something, but it doesn't always work. The Vary Region tool has a lot of quirks and doesn't always get things right, but it's also a really good way of discovering other alternatives for your images. Now we're going to upscale our image number 1 from our strawberry batch, and I want to use the zoom out option that we have here. And the really cool thing about the zoom out is that it doesn't really alter your aspect ratio, but if we use the pan left, pan right, pan up, or pan down options, it does alter your aspect ratio. For example, we know we started with a aspect ratio of 4:5, and now our aspect ratio is 13:10. This is a very useful tool if you're working on a presentation or working on brand guidelines and you want to plan out where your typography is gonna go. But I want to create an image, another image, where our subject is in the center, and when we expand our aspect ratio, it stays in the center. And for that, we have to go to Midjourney's website because the aspect ratio tool gives you a little bit more control. And I changed our cake because I got bored of the other one and I wanted to give this one a chance. Let's go to midjourney.com. Let's find our image. Now let's go to change aspect ratio. Leave it at the center so it expands on the sides, and bring it all the way to 16:9, and that is it. I chose my favorite image from that batch and brought in some typography, and here we are. We just created our own stock image, and with the power of Photoshop we can make it work. I want to mention that not our directing these images was on purpose. I wanted to keep it simple and straight to the point so we can learn how to use Midjourney. But on our next video, we're going to go all into our directing images on Midjourney. I've included some more examples of stock images and other parameters that we haven't talked about. For example, the weird parameter, which will control how unusual an image is compared to previous Midjourney images. And this one goes from 0 to 3000, as well as the chaos parameter, which controls how diverse the initial grid images are from each other. This one goes from 0 to 100, and the tile parameter, one of my favorite ones, which is a parameter that helps you create seamless patterns. And last but not least, the no parameter, which will exclude something specific in your images. I hope this was helpful or at least entertaining. Play around and explore the commands and parameters that we talked about. I also added a cheat sheet at the end of this video, and I will be leaving some resources in our description. Hope to see you on our next one. Goodbye.